Well, a very good evening, everybody. Welcome to our full parish council. A very good welcome to all of our councillors and to our members of the public. You're welcome, as always. And welcome to those members of the public that are joining us on Zoom or YouTube. I actually met one of those the other day, and I asked him for some feedback, and he didn't want to give it. But he said it was nice to watch. So here we are. Let's go to the first item of the agenda, please, Tracy, which is apologies for absence.
Apologies for Councillor Howard.
Thank you. Second item on the agenda are minutes, to receive the minutes of the council meeting held on 19th of September 2024 and to confirm as a correct record. Have you all read your minutes, members? Thank you. I'd just like to add on to those minutes, there was no outstanding answers to any public questions, so we'll go with that. May I have a proposal and a second, please?
I move.
Thank you. And a second now? Thank you. All in favour? Wonderful. Next item on the agenda is agenda item 3, which is my announcements. I've been to a number of things this month, which has been quite nice to represent our town and our council. The highlight of that was Chelmsford High Sheriff's Service, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to link this agenda item in with a little bit of a TV premiere for you. This is a film that's been created by our TAP, the Aquamarine TAP is Tourism Advisory Panel. Sorry, we have a tourism advisory panel at the council, which is run mainly by residents, the museum, the harbour, the high street shops, and they wanted us to look into producing a short video that portrayed the town. We commissioned a young man who's very talented by the name of Stephen Johnson to do the video for us, and tonight it's our premiere. It's just short of 3 minutes. Once it's been seen tonight, we can then go live onto YouTube and the world will come to us. Thank you, Chris. No trouble.
Welcome to Bridlington, the coastal jewel of Essex. With the charm of the Victorian seaside town, there's a rich maritime history. A place where each visit feels like discovery.
Stroll to our vibrant high street, where unique shops, chic cafes and traditional pubs stand against the backdrop of striking Norman and Victorian architecture. Here, history is not just in the landmarks, but in every corner and conversation.
Majestic All Saints Church, a beacon of heritage visible for miles around. Inside, discover the poignant Tales of Tragedy, a unique memorial to the brave souls lost at sea, etching Brightlings's maritime legacy into the very fabric of the town.
Brightlings's heart beats to the rhythm of the sea. Experience the thrill of marine adventures, from leisurely harbour tours to exciting water sports. Our ferry service, which connects the town to the scenic St. Joseph with its holiday village and charming East Mersey, offers everyone a chance to explore the beauty of the local area.
Wander along our picturesque promenade, dotted with vibrant beach huts and framed by the sea. Spot many varieties of birds, including oyster catchers and egrets. Families will love the charming paddling pool and the historic Lido, a refreshing escape on sunny days. The nearby boating lake is a haven for those seeking a peaceful retreat or a bit of fun on the water.
Discover more about the town's maritime and coastal history at Brightlingston Museum. This fully accessible attraction is acknowledged as one of the best small museums in the region. Lots to see and do for all ages, and entry is free. From cosy bed and breakfast to a welcoming tour in Caravan Park, Brightlingston offers a variety of accommodations to suit every visitor. Whether you're here for a weekend getaway or an extended stay, you'll find the perfect place to relax and unwind.
But what truly sets Brightlingston apart is its vibrant community spirit. Join us for lively festivals and events that showcase the town's diverse culture and creativity. Explore our thriving local businesses, each adding a unique flavor to our town.
For nature enthusiasts, Brightlingsea is a haven of natural beauty. Explore our scenic walking trails, watch the sunset over the Colne estuary, or simply enjoy the tranquility of our lush countryside. The town's commitment to preserving its natural and historical heritage is evident in every green space and protected building. And let's not forget the culinary journey. Brightlingsea many eating places offer everything from traditional soups by the sea to gourmet dining experiences. Savour the fresh, locally sourced seafood and taste the flavours of a town closely connected to its maritime roots.
Whether you're seeking adventure, relaxation, or a journey through time, Brightlingsea invites you to be part of a story. A story woven through centuries, ready to be explored and cherished. Brightlingsea isn't just a destination, it's an experience waiting to unfold.
Come, be our guest in Brightlingsea.
Discover a town where history, nature, and community come together in perfect harmony.
We're waiting to welcome you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Well done, Stephen. Yeah, well done. Talented bloke.
So we get So we'll cascade this out to our website and our social media pages, and of course any resident has got the right to show it to anybody they may wish to. This was funded by income from the adverts that went into the town guide, and for the sake of transparency, it cost just short of £500. As I say, it was done by a local young photographer who's very talented. The narration was done by three local people, and it's all to do with youth. It's great. We hope to add to it as years go on.
Very good.
Thank you. Okay.
Money well spent.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 4 on our agenda is the declaration of disclosable pecuniary interests. May I remind all members of the requirement to disclose any interest in relation to items on the agenda when these are discussed. Thank you. Item 5 is our County Councillor Alan Goggin, who's going to give a very short update on Belfast Avenue, and then we will receive his written report. We've got a chair up here for you, Alan, if you wish.
Oh, lovely. Where are you?
Well, you're between two thorns.
Well, one thorn and one lovely rose.
How rude.
Which route do you want me to go through in terms of the procedure?
If you just give a little short update about Belfield,
Okay.
and then we'll go on to your entrance.
Lovely. Okay, thanks so much indeed. Belfield Avenue. I asked the mayor for just a few moments to bring everybody up to date because there are plenty of things going on. Belfield Avenue. I've got to declare an interest. I've got branches there, and I lived there myself in 1971. Even in 1971, there were potholes. There have been potholes there for years. It was a council house estate. They're brilliant houses, wonderful houses, built under what's called the Nelson method, which is a city in London with quality. Excellent houses, but the roads were concrete blocks. And the concrete blocks were a bit brutal and a bit noisy, so somebody decided that in the 1960s they would put a tarmac on them. This is a problem all over the UK. That thin membrane wears through, has a life, and then is almost impossible to repair, so it's a bit of a problem. So it's been a problem there for 50 years. I don't have the figures going back 50 years. Over the last 7 years, there's been 100 repairs of some sort, of some size, in Belfield Avenue. Many have worked, many haven't worked. The main problem is that the concrete slabs, if you live in Belfield, you know, the concrete slabs are yay and yay, and underneath the concrete slabs is a spring, and they've moved. So the concrete slabs, as you go down Belfield Avenue, there's some going this way, there's some going that way, and they're impossible to repair. So in 2020, I requested a thing called a topographical survey. The people in Belfield Avenue, for years have said, well, there's a spring underneath, that's what's causing the problem. We got a topographical survey done, and the problems, to be blunt, are worse than expected. They were far worse than anybody had expected. So on October 21, together with Mick Judson, I got the cabinet member down from Lee Scott, and he agreed with me and asked that the bays had failed and needed a complete reconstruction. So the original budget was about 250,000. Mick Judson was right on the ball. He suggested it was loads more than that. And since then, the budget as such is hugely increased. In June 23, we did some temporary measures just to get the money that we wanted in the next year's budget, which is the one we're in now, 24-25. But in the meantime, we just sprayed, Essex County Council just sprayed the surface so that it was half decent. It was never oven. And the residents were written to. Still potholes occurred. The start is the 28th of October. From the 28th of October to December the 20th, so I repeat that, 28th of October to the 20th of December, there's a road closure. So I just want to make sure that people understand what a road closure is. Technically it means that the road is closed. Yeah, I know. But in truth, it very rarely means that the road is closed. It does mean that at one stage or another they're working on one part or another part. There may be people going down one side and down the other side. So even though it's a road closure, sometimes it's not closed, but sometimes you may have to come in from the other end to do that. That 28th of October to December the 20th is only to do 2/3 of the road. It's the 2/3 of the road which is the worst. And they are literally digging up the roads. They're taking the concrete slabs out. So as you go down Belfield, 2/3 of it will actually be taken out and removed. Then that should be done by December the 20th, and then about 6 weeks later, sometime in February, they'll do the other third, which is the bit that just needs a thinner layer on top. At the moment, the budget is around about £800,000, which, to put it into context, is probably more money than they're going to spend on the whole of Brightlingsea in the next year. But what we'll end up with is that the road should be properly done for the next 25 years.
Thanks very much, Alan.
So that's it. The residents have been told, and they're pleased. They're not pleased. My first phone call I thought was quite nice. I thought it was pleasant. The lady said something very nice. And she said, "What do I do? I'm selling my house." I went, "Oh, that's interesting." She said, "I'm moving in that period." I said, "Gosh, tell us early on when you're moving." So that's my update on Belfield Avenue.
The town deserves it. It could be a million, but we still deserve it. It's been very bumpy, and I'm sure that our residents will be very pleased on the bus route when it comes on the bus route back again. Yes.
Just to link on the buses.
Yes.
Because of the road is closed at
You've
some
got a
stage.
little diversion. haven't you?
There'll be a diversion. My opinion is it will go down Red Barn Road. Instead of turning right into Regent Road, it will carry on round, all the way round. And there'll be a temporary bus stop. So it's one bus stop in Belfield Avenue, at the top of Regent Road, which will be closed. And then there's another bus stop with a bay down at the bottom of Belfield Avenue, which again will be closed. So a bit of inconvenience, but not so much as it could be.
Well, that's real awkward news. I think Councillor Justin would like to say something.
Yes, I'm not convinced that it still will be less than £1 million. I believe there's problems under there that they've not been able to detect so far because they won't know until they lift the slab. So, but well done, Alan, for getting them to spend the money.
Well, we'll leave that to the engineers. Thanks, Alan. Are you okay just to do 5 minutes on your plate?
Yeah, what, 7 would be better.
Well, you've done 7 on this.
That was an extra item. You did say that.
I didn't say sure.
My official time doesn't start till now.
Oh, all right. Go on then.
I'll ask questions from councillors and then I'll go through what I think is you've missed.
Okay. You'd like to take questions from councillors? on
Yeah,
Belfield?
that's what we do.
Does any other councillor have a question on Belfield? No? Okay.
Not on Belfield.
Are you not going to
Oh,
talk
my
through the
report.
matrix?
That's what we've been doing
We
for the
normally
last...
do it the other way around, but we can do it that way.
You've been
Councillors,
asleep at these meetings. We've been doing that for the last 3 months.
you normally go through your report first.
Oh, you want me to do that?
No, not really. Councillors, you have Alan's report in front of you. Could you just quickly glean through that and just pull out any of the items that you may just want to bring to County Councillor Goggins' attention, please?
You're all just reading it for the first time.
No.
Let me, shall I carry on, just do it and then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, number one we just discovered. Number two, you'll see there's been a lot of activity. You'll know that the government have paid a lot of money out to county councils to help with repairs. Essex County Council have got £12 million. We've decided to spend it on this Teams that I was talking to you about, where a council, over 70 of us, gets a team of workers for a week. We've just had that and this week, and so far on that system, Spring Road has been done, Ophir Road has been done, Church Road has been done with some pavements, Chestnut Way and Manor Parade have been done, Bell Green I think is being done, thank you, and then obviously in St Osyth there's something, in Ulster there's something, and the bollards on the Thorrington Road up by the Thorrington Cross have been replaced. Number three, the public right of way number 5 has been opened. A tree has been removed, and it's worthwhile pointing out that the tree has been removed even though Essex County Council don't own the land, which is now who actually owns the land we have no idea. It goes back to the old Astrolux, I think someone might know that, but nobody appears to know who owns the land. So at some stage, if that's going to occur again, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to get something found out on that. There's, I believe, there's a paper on pinch points coming out in town, which I shall look forward to. I've been dealing direct with a resident of Finchley, actually, that had an accident here in Barnsley. Shame about that. I've had my residents' clinic. Thanks very much for that. Some people there. One of them particularly was about funding for some sort of charity. I've supported the Lido in a heat pump application to the Community Initiative Fund, and I've supported the church in their application for a youth and family activities. The B1027, which is my other promise to myself, starts work on November the 11th. And there are, I think I said before, there are 200 changes and restrictions along the B1027 from Alresford through to St Osyth. Some of them are vegetation stuff, some of them are increasing signs. The biggest changes, which people said wouldn't happen, is actually changes to the speed limits. As you come into Alresford, there's a 60 mile an hour area which is coming down to 40. As you go out of Alresford, the 50 mile an hour, the 60 mile an hour limit outside Wyvernwood, which is reduced to 50 weeks like to stay. As you go into Thorrington, the 30 mile an hour limit is being extended further to the roundabout. And then finally at Flag Hill, there's a reduction from 60 to 40. But we've had a problem there. I'm getting this ready for St Osyth. The problem is someone died there, young lad from St Osyth, about 18 months ago. And the circumstances were there was some work being done in the road. It was an emergency. It was the water board. They had their own people that put up signs. This poor lad came round the corner and hit the back of a queue, and at the back of the queue was a lorry, and he was on a motorbike. And for those who are motorbikers, you will know that's the worst possible thing. The end result is the coroner is looking into that whole thing to see whether what we're doing is enough. So whereas the people of Flag Hill were due to have a flag at speed reduction on the 11th of November, that's been put back for until the coroner sorts it out. That, Mr. Chairman, is my report.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the
Yeah.
internet. We've got, I think there's a bit of a problem outside with a alarm. Is that an alarm?
I think it's the alarm.
It's our alarm. We've been digitised here, so we don't get any human that comes out. It's a digital thing. Tracy will sort it out. Thank you, Alan. Would any councillor like to talk about any of those things that he's giving you there? I think it's really great on the stuff going around the town. I walked around Overview Road today, 2 of the residents came out and said, "Yay, great!" You know, with the potholes.
There is still, to be fair, there's still more to come. There's still more to be done.
Councillor,
Shall we wait for the clerk in terms of minutes? Or?
I can jot that down.
Yeah, it's a question on...
Technical order is running.
Yeah, okay. Item 1, Alan. About your motion to reverse the winter fuel allowance cuts. Yeah, it's very admirable, and you know, I think it's one of the worst political decisions in my lifetime. But it just raises a few questions for me about what the motivation for that was. Because how long have you been a county councillor?
County, 10 years.
10 years. Have you put any motions like this before? Just a general question about political...
Yes, yeah.
Because I just
Several
wondered,
roads and stuff.
it's very similar to a motion that was put to us by the Reform Party at Tenby District Council about 4 weeks ago, and it just strikes me, if I can just make an observation, that we've had 14 years of a government that has introduced some good policies, lots of bad ones, and then suddenly people seem to be finding a political voice. I don't know if it's anything to do with an election coming up. Could be cynical in saying that, but you know, I haven't seen any motions opposing cuts to services that have been systematically introduced over the last 14 years. Since 2010, Essex County Council has shut more children's centres than any other local authority in England. It's 90% of its centres, that's 74 out of 86, leaving just 12 open now. I could go on with a list of things that perhaps I could raise. But I just wonder what's prompted this kind of resurgence of politics at that level.
Wow. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
We do like to try and keep...
Okay, let's just go back to that meeting.
It's a political debate, isn't it? I mean, it's a political decision, and we all disagree. I don't agree with it. But I think there's been a point made at county, and I just want to understand why.
Let me just, because I put the motion. I've been here 10 years. I don't think I've ever used the word C. I don't think I've ever used the word L. I don't think I've ever used the word LD. I've never used a political expression here. At that meeting, there was exactly the same motion by another party. And the difference between this motion and their motion, both very similar, was that other party, LD, wanted to suspend the winter fuel allowance, and what the motion one was to not stop it in the first place. As far as you're quite right to talk about things like elections, because we all know it affects a lot of people in the room. I think there's one or two interesting. I've heard the point about school. I've heard the point about youth centres at least 7 times in budgets. The criticism and the figures you're quoting are all from one party, and that one party brings up this at every budget. The truth is that the answer is that since the changes that you're talking about and that other people talk about, there has been a 75% increase. The most important thing is the kids about this. Been a 75% increase
in the kids that are taking part in activities?
Good. Okay, I think that's okay. Okay.
I've just got one question. It's far less political.
Michael, could you just turn your telephone off?
I'm trying.
Far less political. And I just on item 11 you mentioned the small animal wildlife signs. I wondered if there was any progression with that.
No.
Side. I know there won't be anything ratified financially until the new financial year.
Yeah.
But I just wondered if it was.
There's nothing financial coming anyway. The finance is coming from this council.
This council doesn't incur any cost. The finance comes from Essex. There's no cost to this council.
So perhaps we can discuss that outside.
I will look into it.
Don't take me
It's a bit like a hedgehog getting caught in the lights, aren't they?
Yeah. So perhaps, would you mind talking about alarm?
No, that's fine.
Is that okay? We got on it? You got on your alarm? Is your alarm okay? Is it sorted?
Yes, the gentleman from next door couldn't get his scooter out.
Oh, I thought it was a fire alarm. I was warned you.
Can I just ask Anna quickly, is there any movement on the centre island in the middle by the museum? Now, we need the signs being put back. Have you gone anywhere on that? Because I see that as a public hazard, and we do talk about it a lot.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you'll do your best to get rid of it.
Thank you. Funnily enough, there is some correspondence going around about the same thing. Somebody has written directly to a chap called Tom Cunningham, who's the portfolio holder, and I suspected it might have come up. And I have an apology from him. Dear Alan, apologies before responding to somebody. I failed to check with yourself as a divisional member what, if anything, had occurred since the incident was first brought to my attention. It was only afterwards when pointed out to me by colleagues that actually you have already communicated with the driver from Finchley on the 10th of October. In fact, your email, which is now seen, was exceptional in providing all the necessary information and routes to follow should she wish to make a claim for damage to her vehicle. I've also informed of your visit to the site way back in April as together with one of our highway officers to explore the installation of a pedestrian crossing, to which you were able to report back to the Town Council. This visit prompted the highways officer to investigate further with the casualty reduction team, thereby creating a programme of works for inclusion in 24-25. I understand that the design work is now complete and recently submitted, awaiting programming and traffic control procurement. Should you wish to inform the Town Council, please do so, explaining my error in not consulting with you in the first place. So it's in the system. Funnily enough, it's never been. It's been there. I think I got proven wrong last time. I think it's 3 years since that light came down. It might be 3. Funnily enough, it's never been flagged as urgent. Strangely enough. So does that answer that?
Well, my own view is that it is urgent. And having it in the 25-26, to be honest.
No, I don't think 25-26. No.
Okay. So Councillor Court has a question, if that's okay.
Yes, going back to the last, it's partly to do with that actually. You can say that I wrote to Tom Cunningham if you like. I don't mind. But yeah, to have that bollard missing still, and not even any kind of remedial action being taken since someone did some really serious damage to their car, I don't think that's good enough. But my question was more about, so last month when we were talking about this spreadsheet I got off the back of the Freedom of Information request, you said that I was wrong to say that there was 1,300 reports, highways faults. Reports, sorry. I've gone through the spreadsheet and it's actually correct. There are 1,300 outstanding highways faults in Brightlingsea, not reports. So I don't know if you wanted to check your system, you're getting the same information as what I am.
Thanks, a good question. As a good example is this one here. Together with the new number that was allocated this week to it, by mistake it happens, That's now 7 reports. So that one bollard is 7 reports on the system. I'm going through the FOI. I got called into the FOI office. I've mentioned it to try and explain away. And I'm going through some of the 17 different FOI requests that I'm dealing with at the moment. It's taking some time.
Okay, I'll repeat, that's on that spreadsheet, it's 1,300 faults, not reports. If it was multiple reports, it'd be like, I don't know, 12,000. But it's not, it's 1,300 faults, not reports.
When I come
So I just want to make sure that's really clear that everyone understands it, because you kind of made it sound last time I felt as if I was getting something wrong, and I'm not.
well, you're making it sound as if I've got something wrong. So I'm quite comfortable with that.
Yeah, but I don't mind being wrong if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I wasn't wrong.
And me too.
So let's take
I'm
a
looking
look
at the
at that.
spreadsheet. I'm looking at the spreadsheet now.
Okay.
So we'll take the middle ground on that. And,
No, I'm right. There's the middle ground. It's right or wrong. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Any other councillor want to say? Yeah, okay. We have had a letter in from a member of the public, Alan, which I have spoken to you about.
Yeah.
And I've sent you this letter. I'm not certain if the member is Lisa Stewart here tonight.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Do you mind if I read your letter?
No, it's fine, it's Hunting, my surname.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was Stewart.
No, it's Hunting. It wasn't my email, Stuart.
Oh, right, okay, I can see the confusion. So the reason I'm bringing this up now, as opposed to bringing it up on the public questions, is that it tends to be a highway thing. I'm going to read the letter out. I'll make a short statement afterwards, and then I'll pass on what I think is the correct fix. This is Lisa from you. Thank you very much for actually following the new procedure and writing it. It's gratifying. We'd like to ask why there isn't a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit in place in Brighton on the main roads, question mark. My husband's car has been damaged twice in the last couple of months and lives long. The speed the vehicles come down Ladysmith Avenue is frightening. There is a school at the bottom of the road and there is going to be a serious accident or fatality. People are losing their cats because of the speed. I'm in the process of doing an online petition and I'm doing my own speed watch over the weekend. I will present it to our Essex Kent councillor.
Which was declined.
And I
declined.
Well, hang on. So, thanks for sending it in. We have in this council, well, first of all, it is obviously a highways issue and a police issue. We don't do highways or police issues.
No, I understand.
But we're pretty good at lobbying.
Yeah.
And we have a subcommittee whose acronym is ENT, which is Environment and Transport, which is chaired by Councillor Jean Howard. And what I would like to do, and I've spoken to County Councillor Goggin, and he has agreed. What I'd like to do is pass that on to that committee so they start looking at the progress that you've mentioned into that, which is a speed watch thing, in conjunction with Alan, to see if you can make anything forward from that. Is that? Do you think that's a
Well, it's a step forward.
a step forward, a reasonable step forward?
It's something is being.
There's also been some research come from this letter, not just this letter but other letters. I understand that there's a piece of kit on the market that you can put in your window and it counts, and it does a speed watch count.
Yes.
So we're investigating that at the moment to see whether we can legally do anything to help something like that.
Yes, good idea.
We're sort of there for lobbying. So I've got some councillors wanting to step in. We'll go for Kate first.
So, Alan, actually, one of the sites for the small wildlife warning sign, which is hoping to reduce traffic speed, is at the top of Ladysmith Avenue. Lisa mentions there's quite a few cats and things. And I know it's got a hedgehog on the sign, but it's a small wildlife warning sign to try and slow down the traffic. So
We've had a lot of. Sorry, am I allowed to talk?
No.
Sorry.
You can just give a little statement, but it's still not a debate, really. It's just
Plenty of hedgehogs squished on Ladysmith, that's all I wanted to say. Certainly this time of year as well.
Plenty of cars as well. I've got 2 photographs here of cars
okay.
smashed in
Right. I don't doubt any evidential evidence.
I've actually written to the council 7 months ago explaining my feelings about
Sure.
having lived there 30 odd
We
years.
do, yeah, we've got those.
And it's not even acknowledged that they've received the letter.
Okay.
We get no information at all.
Thanks very much.
We
We are already starting, we've got a small group that we've put together, and we're starting to look at zebra crossings, ways to calm traffic, mirrors for blind spots. So we've just literally started the process. We're waiting for a meeting, Tracy, aren't we? So we're just waiting on that.
Have you looked at the possibility of a one-way system?
So,
That's been an issue
Parking
for
on
years,
both
hasn't
sides of the
it?
road and there's
yeah,
no empty
if
space.
you don't mind, we're not going to create a discussion here at the moment. I think what we've done, and this is the beauty, really, this is how it does work when you do send your question in.
What we're
Because
saying is we are
we-
literally starting the process.
Because we can look at, behind the scenes, we can look at the process and we can start seeing where to go. You are on the ENT,
We're
so I
on
think
the
rest
subcommittee
assured
as well, aren't we?
it's
Yeah.
going to
Sorry, can I just add, is attending, I'm on a scrutiny committee called Community Leadership and Partnership.
Sorry?
I'm on a scrutiny committee, I chair a scrutiny committee at Tenborough, and one of our remits is Community Speed Watch, which comes under the fire and police at Essex. So we will be doing a spot of scrutiny on that. So
There's a school at the end of the road.
I understand that. No, I understand. But if you can feed that into me as well, I can then push that into the scrutiny work that we're doing concerning, speed.
To my mind, it shouldn't have parking on both sides, which I understand people have to because of the age of the houses. But why can't it be a one-way system? Why can't?
Okay, right, we'll close it down there now because the letter that has, sorry, excuse me, madam, the letter has come into the council and it is almost addressed to our county council. So that's what we're going to do. It will go to the ENT. We will feed back to you information. I will look at the governance as to whether you can attend that ENT meeting or not. And we'll get back to you. Alex.
So technically speaking, at this moment I should stand because the letter is addressed to me.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, I'm only addressing the answer to the council. Now and again, I'm going to look this way because to people, I'm always grateful for the question. The question's a good one. It's not an uncommon, and it's not an unreasonable thing to ask, and it's not an unreasonable to go straight to the county council and say get on with it. So just a policy statement that some county councillors adhere to and some don't. You've asked, thank you, for a problem about speeding and other things. And you're right that the ultimate authority is Essex County Council, that they have responsibility for the roads, and at the end they have ultimate responsibility for what goes on and for what changes go on. So, but the difference that I have, and many others do, I will listen to, and this is many county councils, we'll listen to the voice of the public. They like to hear them, we like to come here, we like to get questions. But then we bring that question back to the council and say, you're the elected representatives, as such, how do you want to deal with it? And Brightlingsea is the same as others. Most councils have a subcommittee that deals with roads and stuff and potholes and lights and things. So your question is coming to me. Before I act on it, it's going back to the council. And the council will then come back and say, we as a council, we as a body, we would like to see this or we'd like to see that. The one thing to do is that there is a very simple solution to the speeding issues. It's a speed and volume survey. They're about £311, I think. For that you get a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week. You will not only get the speeding of vehicles, you'll get the type. They can be the rubber things that go across the road. It can be something as small as a bicycle or a motorbike, right up to a 40-ton lorry. So you'll have a chart which will give you 24 hours, 7 days a week. Nothing that goes up or down Ladysmith Avenue will be escaped. Right. You can do that anywhere else, Red Barn Road or somewhere. And once you have that information, that you can say, look, it's this problem. Because sometimes it might not be a county council problem, and it might not even be an Essex County Council problem. Sometimes it just might be that there are people around, sadly we all know them, that the speed limit was 20, that the speed limit was 10. If it's 15 or 20, They still need the picture. So the question to find out is by doing the speed, and I urge the council to do this, because that puts to out in the open proper, professional, commercial speed and volume surveys that you will all get and you can give to the public.
Thanks very much, Alan. Okay,
You said that
so
2 years ago.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You said that 2 years ago.
You did. I've asked you before, and you said to me, "Oh no, but it was more than
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, this lady is constant.
we can't do that because it has to be an agenda. Thanks very much, Alan. We're going to close that down now. Rest assured, members of the public, we will be giving you feedback. And Kerry, I think, is going to be the prime counsellor feeding back to you information from the
I'll
team.
try.
Right? And I don't. Sorry to dob you in on that, Kerry. It's
Yeah,
just that
thanks
you're the next real. And I'm sure that Councillor Steady will work with you as well for this. And we'll also investigate this piece of kit as well. But thank you very much indeed for putting that. On a similar sort of thing, and I don't want really to start another debate on that. I understand that we have had some correspondence. Somebody thinks that we're going to put speed bumps down there or sleeping policemen. This apparently has been on social media. I don't know where it's come from. I've never heard it.
Probably somebody in Wales.
Probably somebody in Wales. Yes, speed bumps. Well,
Kent.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Kent spent £7 million putting in speed bumps 5 years ago. They just spent £4 million pulling them out.
Right, thanks very much. Oh, yes. Okay. Whilst we're here, members of the public that haven't spoken, does any other member of the public have any questions for our county councillor before we hotfoots it to St. Joseph? Music to my ears. Thank you, Alan, very much. When you do go, please give our best regards to St. Joseph.
You're coming for the speed thing.
Yeah, another speed.
Who was the lady that put the question in? Thanks for that. Good stuff. Thanks. See you later.
Thanks very much, Alan.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, let's have a slurp of water on that one. Okay, continue our agenda. We're now going to have an update from our district councillors. Please, we'll start, if I may, with yourself, Councillor Berry.
Okay, thank you. Nothing much really verbally to add, other than the attendance at the scrutiny meeting on Tuesday about the sports strategy. There was good representation from all the partner organisations that I've been working with on the strategy. We had Active Essex, Sport England, Active Wellbeing Society and Community Voluntary Services tendering. So there was a good spread of interested parties, and we received some robust questioning from the scrutiny committee, and I think the general consensus was that the strategy was starting to be quite a positive move in the right direction, and that it was work in progress and was going to hopefully produce a lot of measurable results across tendering over the next 3 or 4 years. So that was a verbal update on that last entry. So that's it from me.
Thanks very much. I'm sorry, we've got bells going over there and all sorts. We're alive, the old council here tonight, aren't we? Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Chapman.
Just to clarify, 1st of October, the Waste Management online meeting was for the subcommittee to agree for it to now go to Cabinet to go out to tender for the new waste management.
Sorry to come back. You got a car or something outside. There's a gang of kids running around trying the.
Happens every night.
That they were parked outside the
shop.
Yeah, I was trying to think which one. Spa. And others.
Yeah.
If you've got a car out there. Sorry.
This happens regularly.
I don't think it's safe. I think they're felon. they're like cats.
We don't
both-
live in a
both-
country.
I think we need some vigilantes now, Bonnie. Baseball bats coming on.
Just a short break while we just wait for our clerk to come back. Hopefully.
A comfort break.
Oh. No.
That's an age distance.
We'll offer a comfort break. That's all amongst yourselves. Anyone else like a comfort break?
Two town councillors and Essex County Council walked out and they ran away. And a clock. Disappeared immediately.
Yeah, where you see the car,
Fucking slowed down. It's still on that.
Okay, two town councils went out there, and a county council and a clerk, and they all did a runner.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, but
Problem
they're-
solved.
they're-
Right,
they're
okay.
bullying people, that's what
Thanks very much. So we'll continue, please, with Councillor Chapman's report, please. Nicky?
Just to say, the online meeting was for the subcommittee to give permission for it to now go to Cabinet for the new contract to go out to tender. I'm really pleased to say there's some really strict guidelines they've got to adhere to. In fact, I'm led to understand one company's already backed out. The plan is that July 25 Cabinet decision to award the contract. So we're working on the timescale. That's what we've got.
Thanks, Jane. Councillor Stickland.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say, I was at a meeting there with representatives of Veolia and GDC, and obviously that fits in with what Councillor Chapman has just said. I think the main thing there is to say that it's very important that we make representations for the consultation, and also that we feed into that consultation. And then to make sure that our aims and aspirations, and also I think from a town council point of view, we should include checkpoints along the way to make sure that our aims and aspirations are being met. And then the other one is we're having a meeting with Lee and Northern Seafronts. This is for the safety boards. I don't know
the swing boards?
Yeah, I don't know whether you're going to look. I saw the guy down there from Frank.
Yeah, Frank Halls,
and he was down there with Liam,
Lovely.
and they were looking at it, and I didn't technically know whatever, but maybe when you're there you can just
I will, yes.
have a look. So that's it. And then obviously we had a very entertaining meeting at Leadership Overview when Councillor Barry was grilled by the scrutiny committee. And one thing I took from it was that, for once, all of the participants seem to be singing from the same hymn sheet. So hopefully we'll see the results in a positive way.
That's lovely.
That's it.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks. It's good to hear about swim boys. But if anybody doesn't know that, these are the boys that protect the swimmers along the promenade from the naughty people on PWCs and actually fast sailing degrees. And they've done a really good job of protection. They just need foot tackling. Good. Okay. Item 7 is a review of governance report of Brighton Town Council. Some of the members of the public here may wonder what this is about, but I'd like to just give a little bit of background to this. And basically, it's following very extensive training to all of our councillors here from district and others. To see if we're doing things right. This document that you have in front of you is part of doing things right. And what we've done within that document is we've put forward a number of recommendations on various items within the document to follow. I know that all councillors have studiously studied it. There's been some feedback that's been taken on account, but the aim this evening is to adopt those recommendations and vote it on as a new document. I do believe believe I need a proposer and a seconder. Thank you. Councillor Steady is pleased to propose it, and I think Councillor Chapman is pleased to second it. Are we all happy about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
If we will then adopt it. All in favour? That's very good news.
Could I just ask one
Yes.
of other members? Has anybody given feedback to TDC? Well, we've all done the code of conduct document.
No.
Has anybody?
That's the next step for this document before.
Oh, so no individual councillor has been.
No, I don't know.
has given
As
feedback.
a whole council.
So on adoption, we'll then give feedback to
As
to that officer who instigated it and say, haven't we been good because we've been trained and we're doing the right thing? Oh, sorry, Jane.
You
Apologies.
do need to add to it, each individual councillor's training has to be listed.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Tracy needs everybody to email in what training, I know she can sum it up.
We've had some emails come in about what training, what councillors training have been trained on. We are still waiting for other. If you don't give that feedback in, you might be nabbed.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. It's taken a long while to do that, and it's a good document. I would recommend the public browse and read that. It shows transparency. Okay, our next item then are the Teams reports, and as councillors know, but some members of the public may not know, our Teams are the informal committees that meet to try and look upon strategic stuff, things that are happening, the environment, transport team is one of them, and we'll go through our Teams reports then and to sort of look at that. The first one is the Facilities and Community Assets team, which is chaired by Councillor Morgan, which you have in front of you. Rick, is there anything you'd like to pull out of that?
Well, just there's 3 recommendations there. It was a very good full meeting, as I already remember. Just one little update on the Bateman Tower Cafe. I'm sure it will be well received in the public. That we have been putting some pressure to try and get the vendor to, the tenant to come see us. And we have just received an email this week to say that she is back from holiday, and her and her project manager are going to seek a meeting in the next few weeks.
Lovely.
In council. So that is a major step forward, and hopefully the public can see some results.
Thank you. Okay, councillors, may I have a proposal and a seconder for this? Please, proposed by Kay, seconded by Jane, in favour? Thank you. Our next Teams report, you'll be pleased to know, is the Environment and Transport team. The acronym of that is ENT. Nothing to do with surgeons. Unfortunately, our chair is not here tonight because she's having a bit of an emergency. But Kerry, is there anything you'd like to pull out of that?
Really? Can someone else do it?
No, you're all right. It's okay. Okay, well, look, Kerry, would you like to propose that we adopt your recommendations?
Just quickly read. Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, just to say, apologies for Adam, I wasn't present at the meeting, but I did give my apologies.
Is it not listed?
It's not listed. So, and there was one other thing I'd just like to add to that, which is the item number 5, about the little bit. Just to say, I would want people to refer to my email dated the 19th of September, which basically expanded upon that, and also that we were going to do our own clean up, if you remember, and the idea of that was to get the new portfolio holder down to take part in that. And then I have been talking to Alex a bit, and also from TDC, where another new incentive is to liaise with groups and individuals to book in collections of full bags without a tractor to fit in their workload. So that's actually on my report when we had a meeting, so we've got that in. And then another to advise the group of persistent organic pollutants and to advise them what to do if they come across that before taking and hazardous waste. So then we'll have to be added to that as an addendum. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll add those as an addendum to one word.
Do we have a date for the beach go up yet?
No, not Monday.
No? Do you know roughly when that'll be?
You have 3 weeks.
Okay.
Kerry, would you like to propose them?
I don't know now. Anyone else got anything to say first?
Okay, Kate will propose. May we have a seconder, please? Thank you. Michael Johnson. Are you there?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mick.
No, I'll do it. It's fine.
Okay, all in favour? Thank you. They're adopted. Our next one is our Welfare and Resident Services report from Councillor Chapman.
Just add the COVID vaccinations and some leaflets. The time is 10 till 2 on the 2nd of November at the YMCA, and it's walking, no appointments needed.
Has the member of the public seen it?
Yes, they've had a little one on their chair. They're all going, oh. You all had a little slip of paper, members of the public?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks very much. Do we need to adopt yours? Yeah. Okay. Councillor Barry proposed. General second. All in favour? Thank you. Okay. Communications. Who's going to do it? I always get. Who's the chairman? Chris.
I didn't go to that meeting.
Would you like to give a report?
Yes,
Would you like to hold
yes,
back?
yeah, no. So we've had quite an active, actually, couple of weeks since the last board meeting. There's been several press releases going out about the safety of the roundabout, several other things to do with the police, and we've started a campaign in conjunction with the assistance of Councillor Fort. And we're now putting signs in display boards around the town. They're dark blue, but they're actually talking about keep Brightlingsea safe and asking people to report any criminal activity. This comes on. Sorry,
We should do that outside.
we should do that outside. Yes, you're right. The if I may, I'll just move on to the other. We as council had a meeting, as many of you know, with the council, with the local police commander, Ella. And she brought along her cohort of staff who spent the first half hour of the meeting telling us, weren't we lucky we lived in the safest place in Kendal.
And that the crime rate had gone down.
And the crime rate had gone down. I think she mentioned 14%, but maybe I got that number slightly wrong. Anyway, we were the safest place other than a place called Lawford, just outside Manningtree. And I did remind her that it appeared to be that that was on reports rather than the actual activity on the street. We had quite an interesting conversation, of which she sort of basically raised her shoulders and said, you know, what can I do? If I don't know there's crime, what can I do about it?
It is just about reporting now. We've got to all be aware to report anything that happens.
They offered certain suggestions, such as if we'd like to pay them some money, they would allow us some overtime for policemen to come down, extra policemen, if we paid their overtime packages, which we actually sounded, well, we were interested to know how much it would cost, but strangely enough, they haven't actually come back and told us that. In fact, after the meeting, and the reason we're doing this is partly from our frustration. So we had the conversation, she went and walked around the town where there's no way she could say, everybody said it was lovely, because I stationed people on a route to make sure they did say something else. Anyway, but we've had no feedback whatsoever since then, so we're incredibly disappointed about that. So we've decided to start this campaign. We've got articles in Brightlingsea Info, you've probably seen them, and there's one going into the Chronicle. And there's some other things going on as well besides these boards. The other thing that I would like to do, and this is not really the comms, but I would like to suggest, very much Kate's idea, but we write as a council to the Chief of Police of Essex.
Essex Chief Constable.
Yeah, Essex, and I suggest we all sign the letter saying how disappointed we are with the reaction we've got from this meeting, because as far as I can see, it's actually got worse since we've had that meeting.
There is just, Matt's got some other ideas in the pipeline that perhaps we need to delay sending that letter until he's
Yeah.
Our ideas are coming to fruition.
Can we just let
But we
that
definitely want to.
It's just that when I was at the EALC, what's that stand for? Essex
Essex
Association of
Association of
Local
Local
Councils. I was at their AGM last month, and the Police Fire Crime Commissioner was there, and I've got them to commit to coming and doing a visit to Brightlingsea. So this is like literally the top, the people that set the strategy, and the Chief Constable will report into them. So I just think, can I just get that in the diary, which should be in the next week? If I can get that in the diary, then we can work out a letter if that's all right. Because I don't want to do anything that jeopardises getting that in the diary.
No, it's fine.
Are you okay with that?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, then, Jane.
We've actually got the police coming here Monday night.
They're not, Jane, they're PCSOs.
No, we have got the police. It's
What, Ella?
no, it's not Ella, it's the community police officer for this area.
Or is that the sergeant?
Sergeant. And evidently when Julie sent it out, there's only Graham and I have answered.
I haven't had it.
It was sent through a while back.
Yeah.
With a mistake.
But is it 7 o'clock?
Perhaps we could just resend it.
7 o'clock on Monday here.
Are these the local guys?
No, this is
And
the
not
sergeant.
PCSO, it's the sergeant. And we told them that we wanted to meet with them face to face.
Is this
Not-
just for us or is it public as
No, it's
well?
not, they won't go public.
Right, okay.
Well, we,
Police won't have a public meeting, so we said in that case we want to meet with you.
I think that's. We'll just say this and then we. Before, let's send the email out again. We get so many emails and we can miss it. It's easy to miss. And Matt thinks that this is the guy that hasn't given us the answers.
Yeah.
So when you get that email, councillors, please be ready to all come down with your.
But can I just appeal
To members of the public.
to I mean, I've put on the bottom here, and this is basically a quote they threw at me. Reporting crime will make a difference, not reporting it will make it worse.
There you go.
And that's it. So many people are actually saying, "Oh, I can't be bothered."
Oh,
no,
I'm
I
reporting
didn't report
crime,
it."
there's no
And
answers.
at the end, you can.
Okay, right. Thanks very much. Well, and can I record thanks to both councillors here, in particular Councillor Court for allowing us to put these messages on his screen. It's a financial obligation that he's done as well because it takes away a little bit of his. So, thanks very much for that.
Paul, can I just do the tourism bit now?
Yes.
Okay, so we also attended a tourism meeting, and I think that at some point this council needs to debate actually what it wants to do with the tourist council as far as supporting. The £500 made that video, but I mean to actually go and push tourism out is going to cost a bit more than £500. Just an advert in the Essex Chronicle, for example, would cost £500. And I think we need to decide what we want to do as a council with the tourism bit. I mean, technically, tendering and the tourist authority for us.
Okay, so in November, December, we'll make
We need to have a debate about that. And I wasn't sure which group tourism went in.
Well, it's coming to the two, but we can split. So, okay, we'll do a recommendation. The November or December agenda, we'll have a debate item on there for tourism.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks very much. Where is it? Okay, agenda item number 9 is the finance. And this is to receive and approve the minutes of the finance meeting held on the 15th of October 2024. Can we confirm the recommendations therein? Councillor Atkinson, is there anything you'd like to bring up before we vote on it?
Just briefly, there's 2 points. One, a little bit of a drought, but I'm pleased to report that the debtors list, after a lot of effort, is looking a lot more healthy than it's ever done before, to my knowledge, which is very important because it helps stabilise the accounts generally. On a slightly more sort of exciting note, the committee approved a significant investment in Paulson's Playground, 116 money, which is really quite a step forward. Those are just the 2 points I would like to say.
After the next one.
Just to make a point, the the investment with the other bank.
It's in here.
Sorry.
It's in there.
It's in there. Okay, well we've just filled in the box.
I don't think there's any other queries at all.
Does any councillor wish to Do you have anything on the finance? Do we have a proposer? Thank you, Rick. And a seconder? Can I second? I'll second. All in favour? Thank you. Item 9B is receive and approve the recommendations of those members examining the accounts for the current period. Councillor Chapman.
Councillor Carr and I have examined the accounts for September 2024 and propose that 15 payments in the sum of £4,674.82 be authorised for payment and the statements of the balances on the following accounts be accepted. Current account £1,520.86, business premium account £3,067.52, business premium second account £401.95, instant access account £83,207.42, current T2 account £1,581.19, making a total on all accounts of £89,778.94.
It's your shoes, Joe.
I thought it was a rat.
Income for September 2024 is £7,841.23. Expenditure for September 2024 is £31,822.66. Income to date, from 1st of April to the 30th of September 2024 is £202,666.63. Expenditure to date, 1st of April to the 30th of September 2024, £199,846.17. And employee payments paid for the month of September 2024 were £18,295.11.
So, we're assuming you're proposing.
I will propose this.
We're assuming I'm seconding. All in favour? Any against? Carried. As an addition to this agenda item, councillors, we have something from Councillor Pavey for a payment approval system. Chris, would you like to?
Yeah, sure. This actually does change one of the basic principles of the council as well, though. That up until now we have no delegated authority. So every decision and every payment has to come to this committee meeting. This actually develops quite a workload for the clerk because she has to do several things twice. And what I'm suggesting, you've all got this paper, but what I'm suggesting is to shortcut that. We delegate the authority to the Finance Committee to actually pay the monthly outgoings. That means at the end of the meeting, having discussed this document, the clerk at that meeting can have already loaded it onto the bank account details. The two people that sign them off can at the same same time as signing them, process them on the computer so they pay them then and there. And it saves this secondary meeting of calling in two other councillors to sign them, and then Dave or I at the moment, because we use Unity and we're the second ones, we also have to sit there another day and go through all of them and check them actually on the bank account. As you see, it's very cumbersome, and it could be so much more streamlined and also make it much more effective for our suppliers to pay for it through.
Good.
The one thing that is there that's besides the principle, there is the rules that I've set out, which I think are important. So the maximum we can pay for 1 month, because it is only for monthly outgoings, is £40,000, which I think the clerk could advise, but I think that's a relatively. And then I've also made the point that no individual payment or no collection of invoices to the same supplier can exceed £5,000. So it's, we can't slip another van through there, sort of thing. And then the other two are that that's the delegated authority of setting up leases, long-term payments, HPs or something like that, has to come to main council. It's not allowed to be done through that mechanism. And then finally, it stops the authority of payment of anything that's gone beyond the budget. Okay.
And it retains the scrutiny, so it's all good.
Yeah.
It's more of a modernisation issue. So you are proposing that?
Yes.
As a recommendation.
Perfectly sensible.
And Councillor Morgan is seconding that. Are we all in favour of following that recommendation and the suggested process for delegated authority? In favour? Any against? There you go, you won. Oh, you put it like that.
It's made it more efficient.
Made it more efficient. We are, I mean, we're slowly becoming a little bit more efficient with things. Okay. Thanks very much. Agenda item 10. Again, under Councillor Paley, the planning minutes. Councillor Paley.
I don't really have anything to add to the actual minutes, other than to say it's like supplementary. The neighbourhood plan. The neighbourhood plan has started to regenerate itself in the sense of more enthusiasm, new enthusiasm. They're going through the process of finding a new consultant to work with that's, what can I say, slightly more energetic than the last one. And in doing so, they've just written a report to demonstrate to the new consultant where they are. And I think it would be an excellent point for them to come to the council, because they've just written it, and just say, this is where we are today. Yeah, and I think maybe we should make it an official invitation.
We can do that, and we can get them come here at the next one. Okay, proposal to adopt those minutes. Yourself, seconder. The phone. All in favour? Okay, those minutes are adopted. Thank you very much. Item number 11 would normally be in the hands of Councillor Jean Howard, who is unfortunately not here. So we've got young Jordan here. We've thrown him in the deep end.
That's right.
And asked Jordan if he could give us a brief report on where you are with the Youth Council, please, Jordan.
Where would you like me?
Please,
Oh,
please
please.
come and sit over here.
Oh, go on.
This is the flower seat.
I'll take it.
Next to the thorns.
Thank you for having me, Council. Last time I spoke to you, I asked for your approval to go ahead with the Youth Council. And I am so happy to come here and tell you that we had our first meeting in September on like a Monday morning. And the Colne School got 12 representatives from across different ages, different genders, different backgrounds for us to have different conversations with. And it was wonderful. It just made me smile so much. We talked about so many things. The reason I've come to council is to tell you about some of the highlights and kind of how do we go forward. So one of the first things that came up was that the young people are really struggling with the cost in Brightlingsea. It's actually cheaper for them to go to Colchester and get fast food from there, or have a day out in Colchester rather than have a day out in Brightlingsea. I've got some ideas, and I'll bounce some of those off of you. The other thing that was quite apparent to them is there's a 2-person limit in the local co-op at the Colne, and they totally understand that there's a 2-person limit because there are some young people that require that. But what they don't agree with is that once two young people are in, then they're followed round the co-op. And they find that rather demeaning. So with council's approval, I would like to draft a letter to the co-op with all of the Brightlingsea Youth Council and actually send that off to head office. Yeah, but I think it's really important that we've heard young people and that we action it. That's what's important to them. And then one of the other things that they were talking about, they talked about so many things. They moan about a lot of things that you guys moan about as well. So like potholes, which fair enough. But one of the other things that they were talking about was that they found the bus routes really difficult here. We actually had a young person tell us that they got stuck in Alresford for an hour because the bus that was meant to turn up didn't, which is really sad. So it brings me back around to that first thing that I was talking about, is that price and that cost. And I know that that's a really difficult thing for shop owners in Brightonsea, but with the council's approval, we would like to invite local shop owners to come and talk to the youth council and kind of work together to see if maybe for like the month of January they can offer like a 10% discount, or like on a Friday, one Friday a month, they can offer a discount to the young people. I don't know where the council stands on that. That might need some further discussion. That's kind of where we're going. Really excitingly though, the Colne School have agreed that we can meet roughly every half term, which is like so much more than I envisioned. I imagined like once a term, but no, they want it more often, and that was a thought that was given by the young people as well. And then just to wrap it up, I would really like this to be like a two-way communication. So if there is anything that, so I'm feeding back to you from what the youth council are saying, but is there anything that the council want to bring to the youth to discuss and talk about?
I think it would be, I understand the limits of meeting with the youth council, because there is a thing. It would be nice if one or two of the councillors went up just to meet them at some point, or whenever you can.
Oh, definitely. So
yeah.
that's definitely. So that was our first meeting. I wanted to see where the ground lay.
Yeah.
I want to build up these relationships
Absolutely.
with the young people.
And that's the way to go. And I think the points from the councillors will come on that meeting, because it's a two-way traffic thing, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Councillor Moore.
I was just going to say that it's all good to be encouraged, and it's really great. I'm slightly surprised the youth didn't come up with what they'd like to see in facilities within the town and what they think is lacking for the youth of this town. I think that would be quite beneficial. The council would love to hear that, the youth point of view, as to what they really like to see.
And definitely, we can make that an agenda point for our next meeting.
I think that's what we like to see.
We'd like them to lobby us.
Yeah.
That's
yes, I know.
That's great.
I was just going to reiterate that, but also maybe you'd like to actually talk about some of the issues in the town and see what their reactions are. For example, we have this big thing that's going on with antisocial behaviour. A lot of that is some in that generation group, if I can say.
No, that's more than fair.
And I wonder how they see that and how they think they would deal with that. And just a second item, the way you're talking there, does he have to come to us for approval to write to people?
I think if it's a letter on behalf of council.
Oh, but not of the youth. If
No,
it's of
no,
the youth
so-
council.
You're looking for a letter from us, aren't you?
So, I would do it as a letter from the youth council,
Yeah.
but because it's Brightonsea Youth Council,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to overstep.
So you want the backing of us?
Yeah.
I think we can. I'll talk to Clark afterwards, and I'm sure we can do something along those lines.
Yeah,
It's a support letter, isn't it? So,
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think you need to come to us every time you want to do
No.
something. I'm slightly concerned that you're given the freedom to do what you want to do, not come and check with us.
But I think we're in youthful times. Excuse the pun of Jordan. We're only what are we 3-4 months into this?
So youth camp. I've been in the area of Brightonsea since last January,
Yeah.
and then from that different youth provisions, but Brightonsea Youth Council from September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councillor.
How did they? I think it's brilliant. How did they select are they called councillors or?
So I didn't have as much say as I would like, being really honest, because it's the school and they're hosting for us. But we have got like a diverse range of young people, and all from all across academic as well. We haven't just got young people who are really academic. We've got young people who have different sets of skills, and I also think that all the young people, they are local to Brightonsea, and actually to hear them speak so passionately about Brightonsea is really wonderful, amazing.
Karen.
I've got 2 children in the Cove.
Yeah.
My kids knew nothing about it.
No, so
It wasn't anything sent out to parents or anything. And also, I do think if you do target some of the children that are known in the school as maybe some of the trouble issues, putting it to them in front of everybody in the meeting that there's criminal damage and everything else might actually like hit home that you're all trying to work together, and it's all these kids are saying all this amazing stuff and what they want to achieve, and there's kids that are ruining it for.
So you're bringing me on to another point that I don't think is connected to the youth council. Am I allowed to? Yeah. So
you have the floor.
So one of my big things that I want to do in Brighton Sea is help you target that antisocial behaviour. And like, how would I do that? And that's by doing detached, coming out here with another youth worker and just wandering the streets and just trying to interact with those young people that I wouldn't interact in a youth provision, and then trying to find a youth provision for them to then go to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And this was discussed when you first came in. And
yeah.
We always knew it was your aspiration to do this. Yeah. And because it's such a young, excuse the pun again, it's such a young initiative, and it's such a young, I don't want to use the word project, but it is a project, you know, we've got to give you the support. Yeah. And I think all councils would give that support.
100%.
Great.
Excuse me, and probably sad tribute to Whitney Houston.
Oh, don't say that.
So, children are our future. Treat them well and let them show the way. So the idea is we're going to let them show us the way, because we've seen the tourism video tonight, and I think we should do a presentation based around that. Yeah. Because again, my own personal view, all my children grew up in the town, they've only got happy memories of growing up in Brighton. So that would show us what, fantastic, what a fantastic community, and then we can go on, can't we? We can then go on and share with them other things that we've got in the pipeline, and then we can incorporate them into, I wouldn't say decision making, but we get their feedback.
I think that's really good. I think it's time that if we're allowed to, it's time that we met with you.
Yeah, that's definitely where I want to go, and I think the school are really on board actually bringing them to council here.
Right.
Like in the afternoon on a school session, so like probably like 2:30 until 3:30. That's something I'm working towards. Good. I don't know if I'll get that anytime quickly, but it's definitely like I'm working towards it. And I will feed back Councillor Morgan that you want to find out what they want. Yeah, definitely.
We've just got Kate first, then we've got...
Sorry, just on that note actually, Rick, when you say you'd like to interact and find out what youth provisions they would like and point them in the right direction of youth provisions that are available already, what is there available already for them?
You're well done. So you've got the 4 youth group, you've got the scout group, you've got like local D&D, you've got like, have you got a say? D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. That's okay. That's okay. Big D&D fan. Yeah, so there's like local Minecraft clubs, loads of stuff for young people, and even like linking them up virtually. You've got some really wonderful volunteers in the area doing really great work for youth provision. And so there's really wonderful youth provision here.
Yeah. What can you see is missing though, as far as that provision?
Question and a half.
I know already.
We may be here all night.
Yeah, no.
So we'll probably leave that for
another
another
thing. Can I ask you to have a think about it in the same way that
have a little think.
Asked you to ask the youth?
You would like me?
I'd like your opinion as well.
No. Okay, but I know Councillor Barrow would like to say something, and I'm sure it links in the 10 district. It's because I think you're doing it. Councillor Barrow.
Yeah, thanks. Well done, John. Again, I'd just like to say it'd be nice to have a series of meetings where we explore a particular topic, because I think what can happen is they just become a rolling sort of open discussion, open forum. So I'm thinking particularly in the as part of the sport and activity strategy and discussions with the schools in particular and youth organisations, it was quite evident that levels of obesity and inactivity amongst very young children were quite staggering, and the patterns, in my view, patterns of behaviour, particularly in sport, are set at an early age. So I would be very interested in coming to explore some of the things that they want, not in terms of an open forum, we want this, we want that, but particularly along the sport and activity theme as to what could be provided in the town, what isn't provided. I know we have limits on resources and limits on people who can get engaged and coaches and so on, but I think if we had a theme, and we discussed it at the Environment and Transport team before, and we got a position, and then we then went to liaise with the school through yourself and Councillor Howard and perhaps one or two other interested councillors, because I think it's got real potential to develop into a very positive dialogue and to inform further developments in the town, because there may well be some potential investment in resources or facilities which we would hope that children or young people would be engaged in, and not provide stuff that they won't use or don't want.
And yeah, that's definitely it, isn't it? So what we're doing at the moment is we are, in our next meeting, going to elect a chair and a vice chair so that the meetings are run by the young people. But I would urge council that if you have a certain topic like Councillor Morgan has brought up that you want the young people to discuss, email Councillor Howard, email myself, and we can get it put onto the agenda.
Great. Okay. So we're just going to stop it there now.
One thing is, I think you really could engage in the neighbourhood plan, because this is how the town is going to be developed physically, where the schools, the houses, the play area is going to be, and I think that it's something that the maybe younger people would get engaged in very well.
So Jordan's asked for approval for two items, really. So the approval that Jordan's asked is support from this council to write to the co-op to ask them to try and not be to be less discriminatory to following children around, which I'm quite happy to champion. And the second was to write to some of the high street places and ask them to think about a student discount at certain times of the year. So for that to happen, we need to have a little vote, I'm afraid, Jordan. So are we all in approval of the approval?
Yep.
Okay?
Absolutely.
What I would suggest then, Jordan, is that you liaise strongly with Tracy, our clerk, for the visit of them coming here, or us coming to them. It's probably them coming here, I would think. So that we do it. And then we can have a robust sort of think tank, I think, Chris, and Kerry, where we can really chuck the stuff in. Because sometimes, you get more back when you're face to face with them.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
When you go to your next youth council, could you ask the children what type of thing that they are interested in? Are we talking Dungeons and Dragons, or are we talking, I want a boxing gym?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we need
Why don't we get top five?
Different ideas and different people to work together. Sorry?
Definitely. And I think a lot of it was, what do they like about Brighton Sea, and what do they view as an issue for them?
Just to grasp if you have got a diverse group of children, or if they are all of the same group. That was the only kind of thing I was thinking.
I would tell you they are quite diverse.
That's good.
Jordan, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Well done.
And please keep coming back.
Oh, I will.
Bring your
You can sit here.
And you can have a chair there, a permanent chair. Okay, thanks very much indeed. Very interesting. Members will note that there's no Part B tonight, so that's why we've been a little bit more open with allowing a bit more time. Our next item is item 12, which is the Community Initiative Fund grant application, whereby we've received an email from the Friends of All Saints to ask Council to support the Community Initiative grant application, which Do you want to say any more on that, Tracy?
No, we've confirmed by email, councillors confirmed their support,
Yeah.
but the application asked for a minute number,
For a
so
minute
we just
number.
need to reconfirm that support, please.
Okay, so I'm happy to reconfirm it. Is everybody happy to?
Yeah.
We are in unison
We are.
of that. Our next item is item 12A, which is Springmead Trust. Councillor Stebbs brief members of the Town Council becoming a custodial trustee of the Springmead Trust.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we're just following on from last month's meeting.
Yes.
We circulated what the custodian trustee remit is, which is basically they do hold the assets of the trust. And then I did ask for questions before last Friday. I did have two questions from Councillor Pavley. One was that you're aware of a similar trust that went bust. So that was, and also you did flag up that managing trustees can override custodian trustees to get rid of any or sell any.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I just explain? So I've been involved with custodial trustees before. Custodial trustees look after the assets, but the standard trustees can actually vote to sell the asset, and the custodial trustee cannot stop that, which actually isn't really what the Springfield Trust was originally set up to do. Because it will then allow we backed out of it as a custodial trustee, and it will therefore allow the group of people that are there could actually decide to dispose of parts of the asset, do whatever they like, and we don't have, it's not like a golden share. People think custodial trustees are a golden share, and it isn't. Most custodial trustees, by the way, are banks or accountants, people like that, and they're the people that hold the paperwork and make sure all the annual returns are done and that type of thing. It isn't a golden share vote that stops the others from doing anything. My recommendation in this situation is, I think, keep it simple, have an annual trustee meeting of the current staff and appoint a management group that manages the company. And that management group can't do anything with the assets unless they refer it to the trustees.
Yeah.
Makes it very simple. You don't spend any money on legal fees. Just have your first meeting and say, you and you are on the management group. Report to us once a year.
How do you feel?
Yeah. I've spoken to Julie, who's here tonight, and so the next stage would be we basically agree with that. We'll then go to a volunteers or a potential new managing members to come along, and we'll do a presentation. Following on from that, we then go to an AGM where we adopt the new constitution, and hopefully it's going to make the trust fit for the future.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Well, that's what it's all about, as you say. That is what it's all about. Thanks, Chris. And thanks, Julie, for your input on that. Because we really wouldn't want to go back to what it was a few decades ago, would we? Thanks, Graham.
Sorry, I'm confused. Are we saying that we're agreeing this?
No, we're not agreeing. It's going to put something else in plan for it to go to an AGM to be adopted.
And there is the other benefit that people that go on the management group have not committed to be a trustee. Quite a few people don't legally like doing that.
Yeah.
So they are.
So the council will stay as a custodian trustee, and then we get the management.
So that item, that agenda item there really is a briefing. Okay, now we come to the highlight of the evening, and that is questions from the public. Those members of the public who have written in, I do thank you. And I thank you for being patient with the process. We do have another written question which came in today, slightly around the laws. It came in quite briefing. It came in a little bit late, but I will read it out. This has come from the resident Gary Hum. It arrived today at 10:25. And the question is, will Brightlingsea Town Council be submitting an AP1 form to assume a legal stance over the area at the bottom of the town? Hard, please confirm receipt of this email. Regards, Gary. I'm going to refer that question to Councillor Morgan because he has the more knowledge down there than any of us.
Well, I'm not quite so sure about that. Anyway, yes, we're discussing the southern edge of the harbour, not the roadway. It was reported in your FCA notes on item 3 tonight, because this actually came up. And as per the correspondence from that registry, an application form AP1 has been fulfilled, and all the documentation needed to support that has been sent to Land Registry as requested by the Land Registry. So we will now wait to hear.
Okay, so we'll put a little flag on that, please, Tracy, to reply to that written question with Councillor Morgan's comment. Thanks very much. Now, I'm very conscious that there are some members of the public, and as you know, I really take pride in the amount of members of the public that come here, but I'm very conscious there are some members of the public that find it a little bit difficult to write in. So we're going to slowly come into this new process. Would any member of the public that are here tonight like to give a verbal question? If you do, please stand up, give your name, and please, this is only a question, it's not a debate.
Dave Stone.
Dave Stone.
I've spent the last 12 months at these meetings hearing you say we want open councils, we want public participants, we want all people here. How does that sit alongside not having public questions?
Thanks
And
very
the
much.
second point,
he's crafty.
if there was something discussed tonight and I wanted to ask a question on it, I couldn't. I'd have to wait a month and put it in writing. But then your minutes will be approved and corrected. I wouldn't have to query it.
Well done. Well done. That's a
Yeah.
two very good questions. Oh, you've not got a third.
Just a third. No, compliment to thank Councillor Atkinson the way he runs his finance meetings, because they're very helpful to the public.
Lovely.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Okay, so accolade to Councillor Atkinson. Okay, so an answer to the first one. I think we're going to, I don't know which full council meeting, maybe next month, we will put on there an agenda item where we will debate this question. Because we've taken, this follows the training that we've all had.
Yeah.
Who runs this council? You or them?
Well, so we are writing to. But let's have a full, frank debate in the public forum so that you can all listen to, and we can see what comes out of that.
I agree.
Okay. Now the second part of what was your second one?
He's forgotten.
How can I ask a question? That I think is going to come up in the debate, isn't it?
Very happy.
Thank you. Mal, is Richard up there?
Yes.
I can't see you.
Richard Price, Councillor Court, I was talking to him the other day, the police commissioner. It would be a good idea for him to come and hold a public meeting. He's done it at Alton, the ratepayers have had him there, and we've had him down many years ago, and that would be, as Councillor Court said, it would be a good idea. I think, you know, for the public, because the main meeting, they've got one in Colchester, they've had one in Malden, but they do have one probably at Clacton, but that might be next year, you know. So I'll leave that, that's the question.
Yes, there was meant to be one this month or next month, somewhere in Tendring, and I kept keeping an eye on someone's newsletter and stuff like that, and it kept saying, oh, venue TBC, and then it just went. But yeah, the plan is to do some kind of event in Brightlingsea. It'll be Q1 next year. It's not going to be immediate.
No.
But I think it'll be the first time that they've been here. And yeah, we should.
He did come in a long distance part in the past, and he said that he had some. Well, no, it was the first time he came. He had some pictures of Al Capone, but as somebody said, he died in 1948. They're a bit late. But that's true. That's a true story. Sorry, that's all.
Thanks very much, Richard. Yes.
Yeah. Not a question. I'd like to make two comments. I'd like to say, nice one. I'd like to say that from all dog walkers, not Mr. Court, Council Court, done a lot of lovely work on the footpath, and that's really, really appreciated.
Good.
I don't know this chap's name over there. He said about putting posters up at the police about reporting crime and social behaviour. 3 or 4 weeks ago, we phoned up. We had a ruckus in Nelson Street. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I phoned up, and they didn't turn up. What is the point
Yeah.
I think that's this is sorry, madam, you're not on yet. This is a thing that could be taken up when the police. And I think Councillor Court would lead on that.
And I was told, no, we won't turn up for that. We're not involved in that. We don't.
And I also want to deflect some of those nice words you just said to me. I want to deflect that to the volunteers that actually do most of the stuff on the clearing on the footpaths. But I think the way that
you've done a brilliant job. Thank you.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
I've seen you before, anyway.
But I mean, it's been really cool the way that people have kind of literally come along on a Saturday morning with their shears and bags and put some effort.
If I was fit, I'd be out there helping you.
Okay. Thanks very much. Madam.
Just to follow through.
Could you say your name, please?
Oh, Yvonne Taylor.
Thank you.
Just to follow through what you were saying about the police being contacted about this antisocial behaviour. The other day, it wasn't even dark, it was early evening, late afternoon. There was a lady running around Victoria Place screaming, terrified, with 12 young blokes, 13, 14, chasing her and shouting at her and throwing things at her window. And there was also another lady who's disabled, who was terrified of going out the house because of these youngsters running around. And they were kicking footballs, hitting cars, and just going absolutely berserk. And apparently this is quite a common thing that's happening now around Victoria.
I think it's really quite difficult right now, isn't it? It's just become beyond, hasn't it? I mean, you saw tonight how 3 councillors went out before, and the clerk.
And this lady said she kept ringing the police for several, and they just not taking it.
So I think
we've got police.
Thank you. On behalf of the communications team, I think we can just keep trying to applaud this reporting tool, and we almost need to bombard them, you know, because
frightening people.
Well, no, bombard the police with reports. I understand. Kate might tell me, I understand the best way of doing this is online. I know that everybody doesn't know.
Well, it's not even online. If you are calling the police and not getting a response, make a complaint.
Right.
Make a complaint online, or make a complaint over the phone, or go into a police station if you can find a police station that's open.
Exactly.
And make one in person. But if you're not getting a response, make a complaint. That's the next step.
The trouble is, we're too far away. We do get a response by the time they get here.
I get completely how frustrating it is. It's really frustrating. The thing to remember is to keep reporting, and if you're not getting a response to that report, make a complaint.
Let's see, Councillor Steady has a little bit of input.
Can I answer this? Can't we get dispersal orders? If this carries on, can't we get dispersal
We can. We can get we're doing this right now at the moment for the PWCs. The process is enormous. They did one in Southend. They managed to do it in Southend. Yeah. It took them 3 years to do.
Is there nothing that we can do locally to prevent it? Not prevent it, but to keep people safe, being frightened of walking out. It wasn't even dark, it was though.
I understand, I understand.
She was absolutely terrified, she was sobbing and crying and really
I do understand, and this is where it's so difficult, the powers that local councils have, our town council here has, it's just so difficult, isn't it? I mean, we've got a youth worker here who's going to try and do what he's. We're all trying, you're all trying. It's so frustrating. I think the way really is to get everybody down to when your assistant commissioner comes in.
That'll get publicised. But I just think, are we allowed as councillors to? Because I know part of the problem is people are not allowed to talk to cops about crimes that didn't happen to them.
So part of the issue is I've had a couple of people contact me in relation to the type of incidents that you're talking about. Now, if you rang the police and reported that, they would not take a crime report from you because you are not the victim, and you have not witnessed it directly.
The victim
there is no crime towards you as such. However, they should be taking your details to form a proper intelligence picture of what is happening in the town. And that's not what they're doing. So on the one hand, you've got the crime statistics, which they say are falling, and that's because people are not bothering to report because they don't get a response. But on the other hand, you should have an intelligence picture building up saying, well, actually, this intel doesn't correlate with this picture of low crime. We're being told all this is happening, but the crime statistics are down here. So that's why I'm saying if you don't get a response or they don't take your details, make a complaint. Because what we need is that balance to tip the other way. So our statistics show that there is the issue, which is being reflected by the intelligence. Does that make sense?
When we have this meeting, it should be open.
Oh, it will be. Yeah, I just can't, until we got it in the diary, we can't start planning it. Yeah.
Have you
But
got
the
a big
idea
hall?
is that we sorry?
We've got a very big hall for everybody to come.
Yeah, it won't be
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But the idea is, they're really excited about doing it because it's something different that we're doing. So it will be about public engagement.
So
Can I just say though, please keep reporting.
Yeah.
You get frustrated, I know, but when we have that meeting, at least we'll all be able to get up and say, I phoned up 2 or 3 times and not got an answer. Because otherwise you're just going to turn around and say, well, you know, we don't know if you don't tell us.
I never get that one.
Okay, thanks Yvonne for bringing that up. Jordan wants to just say something.
Yeah, if I may.
Yeah.
Because I'm the local youth worker in the area, everything that you've said tonight about maybe hotspots of young people, I have a community mapping tool, so I will put that in Victoria Place, yeah? Yeah, so, like, do you know times? Because actually, for me to do effective youth work, I need to engage with the young people when they're actually there. What time?
Well, it must have been about before 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Or between 4 and 5 it was.
So,
I remember because,
So what I'll do is
it wasn't dark anyway.
No, that's okay.
You know, I was just thinking it's more frightening if it's dark, but it was daytime, it was light.
So-
and it was running around chasing and
So what I will do,
threatening.
is go back to my community mapping tool, go back to my managers, talk, like, because I have got that aim of engaging with these young people that are engaging in antisocial
I would
behaviour.
think they'd be 14.
Kerry's got.
I just wanted to ask Kate, just clarify something. So if someone is not reporting an incident, but if they've seen something happen, but it wasn't meant it's happened to, do they have to say, I have intelligence on this issue?
So the difference is if the lady that if I'm out in the street and someone attacks me and I ring and I report back to the police, I am the victim of crime.
Yeah.
If you see what's happening, but you're not attacked in any way, you're not a victim, but you are a witness.
Yeah.
If you don't see what's happening and somebody's told you about it, then that is pure intelligence. That's not a crime, you're not a witness, it's just intelligence. So you could ring up the police and say, I have some information. You can do it anonymously on
So
Crime
the information
Stoppers.
is not intelligence, because I'm sure they said it was intelligence, didn't they, when we went to the meeting?
It's the same thing.
Gathering intelligence.
It is the same thing. But you don't have to do it, you don't have to ring up saying, hi, okay. You can do it via Crime Stoppers.
No, I just
you can
wanted
do it
to
anonymously,
clarify how,
but it won't, the difference
if
is
you've
it
seen
won't give you a
something, how...
crime report number, which will bump up the figures. And what it will do is add to their intelligence picture.
I'm just sorry, Chris. No,
Just
sorry,
say
Chris.
that on the web, it is actually an intelligence.
Chris, I'm sorry. We've got to process it. Councillor Johnson has had his hand up.
I would just like to say that there is no substitute for the public making complaints. We cannot do it. The public must be prepared to stick their face out and make the complaints themselves.
I think that's what Councillor Councillor
No, I'm just saying, it's on the web, when you go and report, or try and report, it gives you the option, did you see this, yes or no? If you didn't, it's intelligence, and you press a different button and you fill it in, and at the end of it, they gave me a number, because something happened the other day in the car park in the marina. 2 men were lifting covers and trying to get into cars at 2:52. It was reported to me by somebody else, because I'm not allowed to look at the videos. I phoned up. I went on the web. There's an actual part there. Were you the victim? No. Do you have intelligence? Yes. Pressed on that, recorded it, and within 2 hours, I got an email back saying, "Thank you very much. Here is a number."
Okay.
So,
I just wanted to make the public understand what.
Okay. So we've discussed quite a lot tonight. We've suddenly a little bit of debate. It's been good. We still have one more item on the agenda, and I am assuming there is no other questions from the public. Oh, well done. Where will we be? Well, we just listened to Malcolm. Malcolm, what would you like to say?
Very good video on encourage our people to come to Brightlingsea, but there's one thing missing, the historic part of Brightlingsea, Boneyard Recreation Ground, with the relation to the Australian Training Regiment, Asda. Good job you never showered it, because the toilets are always locked.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. And I'll feed that into the heritage side. You have one more short.
Just to comment about what you just said about the wonderful film Brightsea. That's great. But are they all going to be flooding in cars down Ladysmith Avenue? And where are they going to park?
It's a public road. We'll bring buses. Okay, right. So our last item on the agenda, you'll be pleased to know, Council of the Republic, is our town clerk's report. Tracy.
Sorry.
Oh.
I will be leaving the room for items 3, 4 and 5.
Yes, okay, right, okay. Oh, this is the new thing. What's that?
Carnival.
Oh, Carnival. Tracy.
Would you like to do them first, Jane?
Yes, do them first. So, this is the new way of doing things. If any councillor is a member of an association or a club or anything, and that subject comes up, we have to leave the room and be goody-goody.
Okay. So the Carnival Association would like to hold 2025 Carnival Day on the Bower Recreation Ground on Saturday 21st of June 8am through to 6pm, which will include the street procession through the town as normal. I'm going to do all items at once. They're also asking permission to advertise public sales on the grass verge by the farm as usual. And they're also asking for permission to hold carving sales on the Western Promenade on the dates like this: 21st of April, 5th of May, 26th of May, 27th of July, 25th of August.
Councillors, are you all happy with that?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I say more to all three.
Jane can come back now.
She got
Can't hear.
They also thank the council for their help in keeping the town's Carnival Day fishing going.
Great.
As well.
Okay. Righto.
Yeah. Shame that really, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Good, I won't have to get up at 5
We should
in
have
the
made them
morning.
walk back in and then said we're going to do the next bit now.
Yeah.
Go back out.
Okay, Tracy, off you go.
Aaron Tortoise Running Limited would like to hold their Remembrance Sunday event on Sunday the 10th of November at 9:30, as in previous years, down on the Western Promenade.
Lovely. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Where are we?
The geocaching.
Can I just ask, presumably we have got a diary in there.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And the last, Christmas Tree Festival is being held again at All Saints Church, 14th and 15th of December. Does the council wish to enter a tree? And if so, any ideas?
Yes. We'll come up with some ideas, won't we, Kerry?
Yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
thank you. I'll leave it to you two then.
John and Kerry will come up with some ideas.
Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely. And a local resident who is a geocacher in Brightlingsea is hoping to organise a small group of catchers to litter pick on the 26th of October around the beach and grass area on the seafront. They're expecting around 10 local catchers to attend and litter pick for an hour around midday. They will assume responsibility for all, will remove all rubbish that's collected, and she's also a qualified first aider.
Now, do you know what a geocacher is?
Catcher.
Cacher, sorry.
Is that where
Who
the
doesn't know
coins
what a
are?
geocacher is?
Yeah.
I didn't know what a geocacher is. It's your Dungeons and Dragons thing, isn't it, Jordan? They all go around looking at
Not
GPS things. It's all good fun. Are we all happy with that?
It's got nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons.
Nothing to do with Dungeons.
So just ask that question about who knows what a geocacher is.
Nobody did.
I had to Google it.
Nobody knew. Somebody doesn't know. Well, sorry.
bring my sword.
That's it. Okay, so that's Tracy's bit. Oh, what a wonderful council meeting we've had tonight, as Ken Dodwell said. Right, councillors, we close the meeting at 20:55, which is pretty good. You're all here if you want to chat. Thank you very much, members of the public. Thank you, members of the public, YouTube, and have a wonderful evening.